Nope. Alan's always late. Wow, that was nerve-wracking. You can't imagine. Now I know I'm not on Instagram. It's like one big Snapchat. Freak me out. But anyway,
Freak you out, Jimmy.
freak you out. I have no idea. I'm about to freak anybody.
That's not the first question, Alan.
Oh, okay.
So thank you guys so much, Alan and Jim, for being here tonight. I've been fortunate to see a little more than that, and I can tell you it only gets more intense, more interesting, and more authentic. It's an incredible, incredible story. So let's begin at the beginning. Alan, how did you meet Dr. Dre?
I met Dr. Dre in an NWA set. Me and my brother were on the music video set, and there was some big cameras, like news cameras, and we were budding filmmakers. And I said, "Whose cameras are those?" And they said, "Eazy-E owns them." And I don't know why, but Dre was the approachable person. So I walked up to Dre. It was a little buzz. It was late at night, and I said, "Will you introduce me to Eazy?" And he did. And then Eazy became kind of my first and my brother's first mentor. And then later I picked up with Dre.
And how did you meet Jimmy?
Jimmy, it's very interesting. Jimmy was, Interscope was super hot at the time, and Tupac was releasing his first album. His first single was Trapped, and then Brenda's Got a Baby, and they hired, him and Tom Wally hired us to do his videos. We were only 19 at the time. I met Jimmy then. I wasn't, and my brother, we weren't hot enough to sit in his office quite yet. But I did meet him then, yeah.
I may have given Alan his first and last job. This being his last.
Yeah, this one's gonna kill me.
And Jimmy, what do you remember about meeting Alan and his brother?
They were twins. That's what I remember. When I see black guys, they were twins. So,
I believe
so I'm like, we're in the middle of all hell in the scope. We had Tupac and Manson, those guys running around, and Tom said, "I want to show you this video," and it was some video, and he said, "I want Alan to direct it," and his brother was the quiet one, and he was the hustler, and they talked themselves into the video, and that's what I remember.
So I met Jimmy about 2 months after I met Dre, before they met each other, which is interesting.
Wow. And Alan, how long have you been thinking about it, and where did the idea of this documentary come from?
The idea, Dre and I did a music video with Eminem called "I Need a Doctor" about 6 years ago. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that track with Eminem just going
Hey,
nuts.
is today weed day?
Oh, you smell some weed, Jimmy?
I don't know. It's still like, yeah, it is, right?
Is it 420? Oh.
How lucky are we? We get to show up and become weed day. That's why everybody was laughing.
Yeah, he just totally distracted me a little.
So we're back to your video with Dre.
Making that I Need a Doctor video, which I turned into kind of a career retrospective. And he was getting a lot of pressure at the time, Dre, from all his friends and family. Like, why don't he's lived a life of 10 men, and he's survived so much and done so much great work. So he asked me one time in his kitchen, he's like, "Do you think my life would be an interesting story?" I'm like, "Would it?" And we just kind of started knocking it about then, whether it should be a film. This is before Straight Outta Compton, obviously, whether it should be a limited series. And so one day I called up the president of HBO, because we decided, let's just make a documentary. And I called the president of HBO and I said, "What if I told you I can get the most enigmatic hip-hop artist of all time to open up about his life?" He said, "Who?" I said, "Dr. Dre." He said, "Green light." I never got a green light over the phone. "One problem though," he said. I said, "What's that?" He said, "Iovine just walked out of here with an Interscope documentary." I said, "I'll call you right back." Because at that point, Beats was, it still is, but it was the first year where Beats was just everything. And the light bulb went off in my head, and I called Jimmy up and asked him what he thought about, bringing it together. Is that the way it went?
And I said, "Absolutely not."
Yeah, he did it first. He didn't know.
Yes.
I said no for 3 years, to be honest with you, because of that. I just, because I knew that sooner or later I was going to have to watch this shit. And not only that, there were a lot of things that went on at Interscope that were, this never happened in entertainment before. Part of us were really dangerous, and a lot of people, I was worried about, people that we worked with, people that we didn't work with, something coming out, I know I had no control over it, so I stayed away from it for 3 years, and then Dr. Dre, who very rarely speaks, period, called me up and said, man, we should do this. I said, this guy thinks we should work. I said, the thing is, thinks we should do it, we should do it, and that's what happened.
So let's go back to when you first met Dre. Tell us about that and signing Dre and the Chronic. That's a great period of time.
Well, what happened was these two guys came in, I'll leave them nameless because of what I just said. And they came in, they said they had Dr. Dre, and this guy, John McClain, who was the A&R guy, brilliant guy in the scope, boy, they said I took this meeting, and they said to me, they came in with 2 Pan American tickets, and they said, this is really a good lesson for any student, or any person for that matter. And they said, you see these 2 tickets? We're going to New York, unless you give us $65,000 right now for a video. So I said, sure, why not? It was Friday, he gave him $65,000, he put the tickets back in his pocket. On Tuesday, Suge Knight and Dre come in. I said, how's the video? Suge said, what video? I said, I was going to get $65,000 to make a video. He goes, DEFIANT, we're staying here with you. Now, I said, look guys, so they put on the Chronic. And I said to him, no, I don't say it in this, I'll say it in the next movie. I just said, I didn't know a lot about hip hop because I came from rock and roll, but I knew the sound, I knew my speakers. And I didn't like the sound of hip hop. I thought it was all money and distorted, and no one knew how to make a record with subwoofers or anything like that. It was like a mess. But Dre sounded like a Pink Floyd album with subwoofers. So I said, who engineered this? And he said, I did. I said, who produced it? He said, I did. I said, oh, fuck. I said, this guy's going to change Interscope. He'll define it. And that was the day I met them. I just said to them, I said, look, they had 5 lawsuits. It would be like somebody bringing your food in or bringing something for you, and T-Rex is sitting on top of it. So they had a wrongful death lawsuit, they had a RICO lawsuit, they had a assault lawsuit on Eazy-E, they had Brian Turner and Sony Music suing them. There were 5 lawsuits. So I said, if you guys give me 3 weeks, I will settle each one of these lawsuits. And they looked at me, like I was nuts. And they did give me those 3 weeks. They were really honorable guys. They didn't talk to anybody else or do anything else. And I got them out, I went around and paid everybody and got them out of their contract.
Greased all the wheels.
Greased all the wheels. Right, anyway, what's the next question?
You can tell we worked together for a long time. So you were with Dre for 25 years. What's the secret to your success? I mean, individually and collectively, you've each been through incredibly dynamic things. How have you made it work?
Well, neither one of us have rearview mirrors. So if something happens good, that's in the back. That didn't happen. So we don't take victory laps. We don't celebrate. It's one of the reasons why I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to jinx myself, I'm like, so we really don't have a rearview mirror. So we just go, okay, what are we doing now? And what does it mean for tomorrow? So we are so similar in this area that I can't get Dre to talk about something that happened yesterday because he don't care, and I happen to be the same way. So that is where we bonded, and we just kind of got along. I've never had an argument with the guy. The guy doesn't talk, but we've never had an argument.
Allen, I think the title's incredible. What was the inspiration for the Defiant Ones?
It's funny, our exec producer, Gene Kirkwood, who Jimmy knows well, he had this idea one day. I had another title in mind. He says, what about the Defiant Ones? There's this movie that Tony Curtis and Sidney Poitier did, an Italian guy and a black guy chained together. They had to find a way to make it work. I thought it was Gene's, Jimmy at the time. We all loved it, so we moved it.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what does that title mean to you?
I was nervous about it, because I just felt like the only way I got comfortable with it, and you'll see the campaign, and Allen got me comfortable with it, because it's not about me. I really feel this movie's not about me. It's about a lot of very defiant people that we helped move out and get their shit done, and get people didn't want this music out. People didn't want Marilyn Manson doing his thing. You know, Sony was about to drop Bruce Springsteen when we made Born to Run. Patti Smith, you know, was poets don't do rock and roll in those days. You know, it was all that kind of stuff. And Dre with Easy, and you know, Cube and Snoop and Pac, and you know, so the Defiant Ones are those people. So that's how I got comfortable with it. You know, that was the only way to get comfortable with that.
Alan, as a filmmaker, how did you keep your objectivity with subjects you knew so intimately?
That's a tough one, because I consider Dre like a big brother. We maintained a healthy relationship over 25 years, and Jimmy's been like a godfather as well. So I brought in.
That's racist. I'm Italian.
I needed godfather, Jimmy. So it's a challenge, because and being so close with Tupac, being so close with Eazy-E, and I can go on and on. Manson, I know all these people pretty well, and had close relationships with them. I brought in a world-class filmmaker, and Doug Prey, to keep me honest, and he's my partner in this, and he's edited this along with a guy by the name of Lasse Yarve. I won't get his name right. So Doug kept me honest, because it's difficult when you're that close to subjects to sometimes see the bigger picture, and find a truth, because that's what I learned in this process of making this film. There's a lot of truths, and there's a lot of falses. So you got to find your truth.
And Jimmy, how did you find the balance? I mean, you produced things your entire life, but here it's easy for you to produce a story of Dre. Walk the story about yourself.
I only care about one thing, that the message to me, and what struck me one day like a bolt of lightning, because I felt it actually happening physically, was when I was your age, most of your guys' age, I was terrified, I was insecure. I'm still somewhat insecure, but I was frozen. I just didn't know what to do. And I actually felt fear get behind me and push me forward rather than get in my face. And at that moment, it was like a miracle. And if I can encourage anyone else, if I can encourage one person after this movie to do that, because fear is so fucked up, but it is so powerful. So like, all I cared about was that message. All the other stuff, there's a lot of stuff I don't like about in the movie, all this stuff and bullshit. But that is not bullshit. That is not. That is really to just keep getting knocked down and get up is so important. And I was, I'm 64 years old, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, now it's time to do something that maybe people get something from. Right? And that was how I got into it. I was like, where's the message? Where's the hook? That's all I keep. I treated it like it was a song. Like, is this boring? And is there a hook?
This is true.
So in episode 1, for me, there's two really moving moments. One is when Dre's Alonzo's for the first time, and you realize he's in the doctor's mask, right? And the other is when you get the call on Easter doing the record plant. And you saw this moment, it's John Lennon, right? Which those of you who are familiar with the career either way, that's a moment. What do you think the world is like that today? Are those moments still happening for people who are 19?
I have no idea, but it's up to you. Because those moments are floating around. You've got to grab them. Like, for example, I'm sitting home Easter Sunday, I'm Italian, I'm 19 years old, I'm with my whole family's coming over, and the boss calls over and says, hey, I need you to come in right now and answer the phones. He didn't say answer the phones for John Lennon, he didn't say anything, he said answer the phone. So, okay, I got up, got my ass out of my house, my mother went bananas, and I went to work, and it was a joke. It was, I want you to engineer John's session. We just want to see if you would come in on Easter Sunday. So those moments are there. You've got to grab them. You've got to just be willing to turn over every rock if you want to do that. In my life, unless you're really lucky, then just go to the racetrack. It's much easier. But if you're that lucky, but I'm not, so I had to turn over every rock, and that rock I turned over was a great rock.
So we're here at USC tonight, where you and Dre have an academy. Can you talk a little bit about the idea behind starting that?
Well, it had to do with you, actually. What happened was, Luke was a musician, and then he was a head of Interscope's alternative rock A&R. That's sort of like
Historic.
it's I'm trying to think. It's like A&R for the hula hoop, right? So I don't know what the hula hoop is, but it's that old. So then I convinced him to come over and run beats. He had no experience in hardware. He had no experience in technology, but he had a feel for it. And I said, I need someone that can cross technology, but understand the culture the way I understand the culture, and the way Dre does. So we got him to come in, and he built this company, did an incredible job. But then we tried to hire people. And they were either from the creative side, entertainment side, or from the tech side. And I said, none of these people work. So we had to invent people, practically. So I said to Dre one day, I said, Dre, these people don't exist. Why don't we start a school where they mix the disciplines and the people come out of that school with both languages? And he was in, and we just went to Erica and Max, who you guys know as Dean Mule and President Max. Anyway, and we said, look, we want to do this school, And again, you could say this. If I go to Princeton with this or UCLA, they throw me out. They have no idea what I'm talking about. These two characters got it. And they just said, this could work. And Erica took the bit in her mouth and ran with it, And she did an incredible job. We're so proud of it. But it started, and then, because rewind, before that, I met Steve Jobs. I met a lot of technology companies. I went up to Intel, and I said with the guy, I said, this whole rip it, burn it stuff, what's going on in the music industry isn't going to affect me. I'm successful. It's going to affect, Madonna. It's going to affect young people that want to get into the business. He looked at me and said, what a fascinating story, Jimmy. He says, but not every industry was made to last forever. He terrified me. So I meet Steve Jobs, and Steve Jobs understands why Bob Dylan wrote Every Grain of Sand. He understands why John Lennon was John Lennon, and yet he built the Mac. So I called up Doug Morris and I said, Doug, this is the only guy I met in all of technology who understands both languages, who truly understands them. The crossroads of liberal arts and technology. And that's what, combined with hiring Luke, and knowing that every young person that was brought up, in order to communicate, you have to understand technology. The more you understand technology, the more fun you're going to have. So that's what the school's about.
Students here?
I think so.
Yeah, a bunch of our students here.
Allen, there's so many fantastic musicians, artists, celebrities, in this film. Is there anybody you wished you could have talked to that you didn't get to?
John Lennon. That's it. I thought about that long and hard because everyone in the film, it was interesting because, I don't know, Jimmy, Dre, I'd never seen this much devotion to sit down and want to talk. And you guys will see in episode 2, 3, and 4, people really sat down and gave their all. It wasn't like 15, 10 minutes. I didn't understand it at the time, because these guys truly, really collaborated. That was their art too, is collaborating in a very profound way. So every single person that sat down, I was very moved by how deep they went. And John was the only one that wasn't with us that I can think of that I wish I could have talked to. It's obvious, right?
How about you, Jimmy?
I don't talk to any of them anymore. I spent so many hours with all of them. No, I mean, if I were to talk to somebody that I haven't spoken to,
Who would you love to have had a voice in the movie that ultimately couldn't, for whatever reason?
Well, I mean, I gotta give him my shot. That same guy, John Lennon, you know, he was so good to me, man. This guy, in 1973, the Beatles had just broken up. Nixon was trying to throw him out of the country, intimidate his green card. And he'd go to court and come back and work every day. He'd sit there and think, no, Jimmy, this is how you do it, and that's how you do it. I mean, me and him in a room alone for 8 weeks, just the two of us, every day. And this happened for 3 years, you know, and for some reason, that's why it's really important. This is an important thing, especially out of school. Why I've been able to get where I've gotten to is because the mentors I choose, or choose me, they know that I listen to them. And I will bet on their decisions sometimes, rather than my own, their opinion. Because I figured, I'm going to bat 500 if I'm great. They bat at 600. I'm going to go with them. I'm going to try their idea, even though I disagree completely. And when you're someone's mentor, if you think you're speaking into the air, into the dark, you quit. David Geffen spent years at lunch with me, teaching me the art of business. I had no idea about business. None, zero. I didn't know, you know, I knew if you sold vegetables, you got to buy them cheaper than you sell them. But, and if you, you know, my mother took the numbers, you know. That's a policy thing. I don't know if you guys know what that is either. But that wasn't about as much of business as I knew. And David, again, for over 30 years, taught me about business. And you have got to listen. If you think you know it all, no mentor's going to stick with you. I promise. My mentors still are with me. Same people, except John, naturally. And that's, you know, I would love his voice to be in it naturally. I would love Pac to be in it. You know what I mean? Anytime you lose friends like that and artists like that in such a violent way, you know, you just, you ask why, and you get, it really messes with your head, and it never goes away.
Last question, Allen. So as a filmmaker, if you go back to Menace to Society, Dead Presidents, right, Book of Eli, later films, American Pimp as a documentary, I see a certain narrative through a lot of these films. You know, do you see that reflected in this movie? How do you tie them all together? Is there a story you think you're telling, you're getting to in the macro of all your storytelling?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I'm fascinated by characters, you know, like unique characters that are singular characters, you know. I think Jimmy obviously is one very unique and visionary characters, you know. And I just, when I met Tupac, I was up doing someone else's Digital Underground music video. He was a nobody. And I was in a Waffle House, and I was just so captivated by him, I begged him to come to the set the next day. And so that's the through line, because they teach me things, and there's always a narrative there. There's always something to be discovered that you go in for one reason, you come out the other end, you've got a bounty of fruit that you didn't bank on. So it's, I guess they call them charismatics, but that makes it simple. That's not what it is. It's just these, even you look at pimps, Jimmy has a lot in common with pimps. But he all pimped the pimps, because they were tough to work with. He's very charming.
I paid for the movie, Alan.
Oh, he did pay for that movie. He did finance American Pimp. No one knows that.
No one now, but don't tell anyone.
I don't know if that answers the question.
It does. So, well, first of all, thank you both so much.
Right, we're not going to make both These kids are going to split in about 2 seconds. If you don't get to the question.
So, it is the Q&A time. Who has a question? Right back there.
Thank you for all this. I want to ask, do you have any future plans in education beyond maybe just higher education or one school?
Well, my dream is that everyone copies this. Other schools copy it, and we can somehow franchise it across the country. I hope that, because I'll tell you what, industry needs it. AT&T just bought Time Warner. I called the head of HBO, and I said, I want you to know something. You're not in Kansas anymore. They said, oh, we met them and they're pretty cool. I said, you haven't met the Wicked Witch of the West. There's a whole bunch of monkeys you haven't met. They hold them back when they buy the company. They bring them out later. And so what this school would do is give AT&T people and media companies people that will understand both languages. Because once you get out of graduates, once you get out of your fourth year bachelor, you get your bachelor's degree, and you get out and you go into your graduate, you've already left something behind. That's why we wanted to do it as undergraduate. While it was still fresh in you, the creativity or the engineering and stuff, no matter where you lean. And I don't mean that against AT&T. I just think all media companies that these tech companies are going to buy all the media companies. They just are. AT&T, Google, Apple, they will all buy all of them. And what you're going to have is a bunch of people that have one side of their brain work. They understand one language. And I feel the people that go to our school, the people that are interested in this stuff, and if it spreads throughout the country, are going to have an experience that I believe I see every day at Apple that people need. I mean, Apple's better because Steve had it. He got it naturally. But, you know, these guys up in Cupertino, man, I mean, they go to Burning Man, they think they're Hunter Thompson. You know, and they're just fine. So, same goes for down here. They're completely inept technology, technically. They have no idea what technology to hire. Whoever has a computer in the room becomes the head of the internet. So anyway, that's my dream of the future. Oh, there's some HBO people here. Very funny. I forgot we're doing this for HBO.
Other questions?
Jimmy, you work with a lot of Hall of Fame rock and roll people, the Springsteens, the U2 of the world. Everyone seems to have a 10-year period where it just flows out of them. They fart hits. But then the faucet shuts off. Why? Why is it?
Let me tell you something. That is the holy grail of questions, man. And we all ask it all the time. And you know, I always say, some people make it. The really great ones make it to their 30s. The miracles make it to be right. You're talking about writing. The Rolling Stones can still perform at 72 years old. It's the writing that just for some reason, they're not in the zeitgeist anymore. And I think a lot of things move. I think culture moves, I think they don't, or it would sound corny, take on another culture. They represent a period in time. Also, their lives change. We've thought about this quite a bit. I mean, you're broke, you're in New Jersey or in Liverpool, and you're just writing for your people. Like that Bob Dylan wrote for his people at that moment, for an entire generation. You know, Eminem. But then what happens is, you can still write, but something about it just moves out of the zeitgeist. And that's why, by the way, a lot of artists are like that, painters as well. You know, make sure you get the work from 1982. Make sure you get the work from 1972, you know. And there's something that goes on in creative people's lives that, first of all, it's very painful to create something great. Very painful. It's dark. You have to go into a dark place. And what happens when your life gets better, you're like, do I really want to go in that room, you know? You don't say literally, but it's subconsciously. And I think there's a combination of all those things, because I'll tell you, I've seen it 100 times. And the songs are good, and the things are good, but it's just not like it was in 75, you know, or 95 for that matter.
Well, good to see you again.
Excuse me?
Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Talking about kind of those out of the blue experiences you've got to grab, kind of made me wonder, where is kind of the most interesting out of the blue place you set up a deal for Interscope, sign someone, go on album, etc.?
You mean as far as signing an artist?
Sure.
Well, we've had a lot of them. You know, Eminem came out of the blue. Eminem, it's an incredible story, and it has a lot to do with John Lennon. Because what happened was my assistant got married and went on a honeymoon. And they put this 18-year-old kid in my office answering the phones. And he had the nerve, the guts, to walk up to me and say, you know, I saw a rapper last night, a white guy, and he was rapping, and he was great. I mean, I hear that a lot, you know. So I said, really? He goes, yeah, man, I was out last night. I said, I'll tell you what. Go get a CD, and because you're showing, if you show me the effort and you go do it, I'll show it to Dre. And because of the way John treated me, I treated that kid like that. That tape was Eminem, and it's an incredible moment because Dre, which you'll find out in the movie, or maybe you know, was very cold at the moment. He was having a real creative, dark period. And that rejuvenated him. And that was really crazy. Another one was Lady Gaga came out of the blue because a guy I really respect from another label dropped her the week before. And she came in my office, you know, looking like, not like Lady Gaga. And she came in my office and played me like a little bit of a song, and then started talking to me about Andy Warhol in the 70s, and I mean, I just said, you know what, I want to sign you. She had me so confused. And, I signed her, you know, and it was, and everybody in my company saying they will not, you're paying too much money, they will not play Four on the Floor, which is this, on pop radio. That's what the dance stations. I said, I don't give a shit what you tell me. This girl is great. And she was one of the first people to break club records at Top 40 Radio. And so that was like, for me, an out of the blue one. And naturally, Suge Knight was out of the blue one, to say the least. Black and blue.
So you mentioned that fear drove your work really, really hard. Now this makes me think, are there still facets of that fear today, or what's your real driving force these days?
Well, you know, again, it's another one of those holy grail questions. This is really rough because part of me, the great Bob Seger song is the lyric, I wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then, which is a great lyric, you know, and I get inklings of that drive again, you know, but Apple Music has me this dedicated right now. The actual idea of helping musicians do it for themselves and get paid and actually make recording worth something again. They're all on the road now because it's something that you should know about music. If you're interested in music, is what's going on right now is artists, 90% of their money is coming from the road and sponsorships. So they're staying on the road. Michael Jackson came off the road to make Thriller and spent 2 years making Thriller. These artists are making records on the bus and coming home for a month to make their record. So if they think they're going to make a better record than Michael Jackson made while he was in his house making a record and they're on the road, then they're wrong. Right? So if we can help balance the discovery of music again and have a service be of service to help people discover music, have artists discover their fans and everything, that's got me inspired. Does it have me feeling like the sidewalk is falling in behind me like I felt for most of my life? No, I'm being honest with you, you know? But I'll be honest, I don't want to do this forever. You know? My goal right now, and it's a crazy goal, my goal at this point in my life is peace. You know? Because I spent 50 years without it. You know, driving and looking and struggling, and you know, that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So I'm not looking to be that guy. I hate watching this movie. They show me episode 3, I want to kill myself. You know, and it gets really ugly, you know, it gets really scary and really ugly. People jump over my wall at my house, you know. But I was driven, you know, and I feel good about Apple. I want to keep my word to Apple. I want to do it for Steve. Steve was very good to me. And I want to deliver for Apple. And once that's done, once I deliver for Apple, I'm just gonna find smart young people and invest in them.
That sounds good. All right, gentlemen. Oh, all right, one more right here.
Well, you got someplace to go?
Alan, no, Alan's.
Okay.
You're up.
I would like to know, do you have any interest of branching like the NEA jazz artists with some of the young people and hip hop and blending them all together so you can get that piece before you decide to get off the plane?
You mean blending jazz and hip hop? Is that what you?
Well, it has been blended, as you know yourself, but you doing a project with NEA artists to work with is some of the young people here in the school project.
Well, that's what the service is set up to do. The service is set up to bring things to you that you think you'll like through human curation and through algorithms. And it's right now is an incredible time to be a musician, although a lot of people are avoiding it. Like I always talk about my daughter Jessica, who's here somewhere, and her boyfriend is a really talented keyboard player. And his father was a great record producer, a guy named Lou Adler. And he, 20 years ago, he'd be at the bus stop waiting for Jim Morrison or Axl Rose to come in. He's working at Snapchat. So a lot of musicians are not going into it because they don't think there's a business there. And it's a miracle that catch that 1 in a million that you're a live artist, right? So, but because of what's going on in France, and because of what's going on in the UK, and because of what's going on in this crazy country, there's a lot to write about. And if musicians and poets come to get their stuff together, let's not forget how much music helped in the 70s get us out of Vietnam. You know, and that's right now. And musicians can do that. Lyrics can do that. Movies can do that. So, you know, it's up to the musicians themselves. No one's going to put it together for them. The music, to be a musician, it takes so much drive and so much commitment and so much rejection that no one can give that to you. You've got to just go find it. Yeah, here I am.
You want to take one more
I'm curious about, you spoke about the fear of really driving you, and I was curious, what specifically, what were you, that fear, what was that fear?
My fear was shame, being embarrassed, people knowing what I thought I knew, that I was completely useless, people finding that out, not knowing what I was doing, having no education, no skills. I didn't have any kind of talent or any kind of skills when I walked into that studio for the first time. Zero. Useless. No culture. I had no idea who great poets were. I didn't read. Nothing. I walked in there as a blank slate. So what was making me insecure? Everything. Right? But somehow or another, through stroke of luck, when I sat down at that console, all that energy felt natural to me. And I just said, okay. And the more frightened I get, it was like, it must be like what Evel Knievel felt like or something. Every time, the more frightened I got, the more forward I would go. Like they say, can you do this? And absolutely. You know, I have no idea what triggered that, but if you can find it in your own thing, to take that fear and have it pushing forward, I always call it a tailwind, and because it wants to be a headwind. And you know what? I see things in this movie. I had a friend of mine call me up the other day and said, why did you do, not the movie, but why did you live through how did you live through the 90s? And I said, I don't know. I just, for some reason, They said, why weren't you afraid? You know, the guys jumping over the wall and this thing and that thing and all this people getting killed. I said, I don't know. It turned into energy to me. It didn't turn into fear. And, you know, that's just really it. You trick yourself. And then once you trick yourself enough, you learn the trick. And then you just go, okay, this is fear, but I know it's really not fear. It's energy. And that's really what I did, because I could not have been any more insecure when I was 19 years old.
First of all, I want to say thank you for giving the opportunity to stand in the room and share the energy and the space with what you've contributed to American history and music and film. It's just an honor.
Thank you, man.
So the first question is, with the influx of content and TV and music, it's so much out there. How do we keep up with it? What do you think is the next way? Because we have
If you're a creator or if you're a consumer?
creator. To educate yourself on like ways to better your craft, or depending on what the wave is, or
Well, what most of my friends did, whether you're John Lennon or Paul McCartney or Bruce Springsteen or Eminem or Kendrick Lamar, is you fixate on something that moves you so much and you make it your own. The Beatles are Elvis and Little Richard, you know? Eminem, Pac, right? Kendrick Lamar, Pac, you know? And it just moved them so much, and they just made it their own and transformed it into their body. Now, if you're great, that will happen. If not, you'll be like a copy man and have a couple of hit records and then, you know, be playing that same song for the rest of your life. But if you have it, if you have that thing, that special gift, that inspiration, because the music is so great, and you get it, that's the only way I know how to create something. I was inspired by Phil Spector. I was inspired by the Rolling Stones. And I did my version of that. I mean, when the Stones came out, they did their version of blues. It sounded green. It didn't sound like the blues, you know. I mean, they were white guys from England, you know, but it came out great. It didn't sound like the blues, really, but it came out great. So I look for inspirations in every day. I look for mentors, inspiration, and I'm like, I know people say they have OCD, but nobody's on 80 milligrams of Prozac. I am, okay? I really have OCD. And I just do things over and over and over again. I'm very repetitive. And you get really good at something if you just stick with it and willing to feel the pain.
Straight up. Word.
On that note, all right, one more.
I don't know what your GPA was like when you said when you were a blank space, well, you were just a blank slate, you didn't know anything, but do you think that young you would...
I didn't have a GPA.
Do you think that young you would be able to get into a school like this?
No. Not a snowball's chance in hell. No, of course not.
Do you think there's a... do you think there's a way to sort of accommodate that? Because there are people that are sort of Steve... I don't think someone like Steve Jobs would have done well in school, but...
This is exactly the point. Evan Spiegel, who's a young guy, I invited him to the school, and he came to the school, and he said, if this existed while I was in school, I would have stayed. It's education's responsibility to flip it for you guys and make it more interesting and more relevant to what's going on today. School hasn't changed in 1,000 years. You know? And I can beat up school, because I hate every goddamn second of it.
That's a showstopper.
But they're going to make it interesting. That's why we put our hard-earned money into it. Yeah, we're a fly right now, but that's the only way something sparks. You're going to start with a spark. And we're hoping that this thing that we did at this school inspires other schools, because we can get some great students to come to us instead they go, hey, why did this kid go to Stanford? Why did he go to USC? So, well, there's this crazy school down there, and the dean goes, oh, you know. So that's what, and there are people that are dyslexic, and which I think that's what I am, you know. The Prozac isn't enough, I have to take Klonopin to read. I wish it wasn't true. But there are, I mean, there are ways to get through life now that I didn't have when I was your age. And to get through anything. But the school has to adapt. I don't care, you take all the wheeler you want. If that school isn't right, that school's not adapting, we're not gonna have the great people that we really could have. They're all gonna quit school and go do their own thing and get frustrated. Maybe the building will fall down on me right now.
Well, Jimmy Iovine, Allen Hughes, good luck.
Thank you
both so much.
When you're watching the movie, right, they keep you interested in you know what I'm saying?
Turn my mic back on. I said, Jimmy, look, they're into the movies. Like, I see a bunch of things that can be different. Please tell them you accept the film right now.
Okay, so quickly, just one question to three people. What'd you get out of it?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I don't know. Look for those stones to turn over. Don't try to be
What'd you get from the movie?
I liked that figuring out essentially that everything, not everything, but the big steps were places where you were just in completely over your head, it seemed like. And that's something that I know excites me a lot, and I'm going to push a stronger force towards finding opportunities that I'm not ready for.
And we're in the crowd, get a feeling from this?
I love the storytelling. I love the way it was visual. It was, your audio. You told the story through music. You told the story through photographs, and also through everybody's perspective, and especially watching you while listening to Bruce, or watching Bruce. I mean, it was very, very well done. We're so excited to see the next episode.
Oh, no, so we just want to make it inspiring and relatable, whether you know that music or not, because it applies to everything. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate it.